Uh-huh. And for Kenkadzu Goritashi, being a Japanese game and usually having a lot of different unique geographical sampling from the Japanese and their video games from all types of regions, I wanted to create something equivalent, like a Fully Cooley or Blue Poltergeist or something in that nature, where they're making kind of trying to decipher their Da Vinci Code of their names, and so getting in that habit, along with it, Sony being in Japan, so I think give it a Japanese name. This is the second part of character creation. You're picking your birth date, and not your facial features or hair suaveness or swoosh. Now, I personally think this character looks a little bit like Benjamin or Chris Pratt on the Galaxy Pilot movie. But we kind of went through this part, but here, my birthday's the 5th moon, Umbra of the 10th month, on the 24th day. And 24, and Jack Bauer in a type thing. And Jack Bauer. Just... Guardians of the Galaxy here for Pratt, and see here, it's a good look for him, and that's probably a good look there. And there's Pratt's face here. Yep, pretty like each other. Yeah. I don't know when Pratt's birthday is, but I went with the October 24th, and I think I'm still considering the which god to do here. Scorpio. There's the Libra, the scales. That's right. They almost look like the Taurus, but I think they're depicted with the scales. Not sure about that. But according to this, the Scorpio born on October 25 symbolizes the Scorpion and has a highly romantic, sensual nature. So interesting for Cleric of Josen or Palor being the chosen, and also their sensual double take. Salient. And here, and that's of time. I was about to take him, and those are all the different choices. That's Nofika, and Nadal is the one that's gonna be there. And let's see here, since I'm recording this, let's see here, and did I put that there? There we go. And I can pause that real quick here. And that's paused there. Nadal, overseer of the underworld and god of commerce, is the guardian deity of Ulda,
commands the element of fire and is associated with the 10th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nathal is the single manifestation of the deific twins Nald and Thal. He is most often depicted as a discerning merchant holding a balance. His symbol is the cowrie, an ancient shell currency. Element attributes. First one's fire, ice, wind, and earth. Then lightning, and then water. That's his resistances on a scale of 100. So both of them are, most of them are the same. Some of them are going to take off with the rest of your modifiers in there, and then they're going to go into what do you call 60s, while the other ones stay about 10 behind. So it kind of matters, but then since they're kind of closed type thing, it doesn't really matter. A lot of great videos out there on character creation, Pally Time, TGN, Ziggy D, it's out there type thing. I don't think I've ever met either one of them or talked to them online. Trying to think, there's some other individual videos on clerics. I know there's some chicks who played some convincing thaumaturgists and clerics. Definitely worth the search and Bing for Bing reward points, or Google, or YouTube search engine, or whatever comfortability there is there, to try to get to understanding before embarkment. Okay, so let's go back here, and I'm in a Sony library video thing here, and just center that back up, and then let that go on with the rest of the character creation. This is Chad Brown talking on with my character being Kenkadzu Goritoshi. Now the Kenkadzu, Kenny is strength, and the character is kind of really built off of Kenpachi's hierarchy of Bleach with the eye patch. And eventually I'm going to make a Paladin. Paladin has an affinity and a requirement for White Mage. So, and I wanted him to go to Robodan. A lot of people go Gladiator, I think, first with such an ideal, because Gladiator is the other part that you need, and starting out there. But I wanted a bigger mana pool with this ability, and an ability to survive some of the Ghost Whisperer, Jennifer Love Hewitt Shadows move-in that used to be on CBS. Now she's on CBS again with Criminal Minds. And yeah, they were saying Emily Van Camp was in Winter Soldier, talking about other celebrities that had landed into Marvel comic equivalent movies. And she used to be on Everwood with oh, what's his name? Afrin. He was also in Toy Soldier one way back in the day. I don't know that the actor's name. They were small soldiers that his dad programmed, and he was good at programming too. Oh my god. It wasn't Short Circuit. It was something else too. Live Stephanie. And so it took me a while to figure this out. That's going through the gods, and select your character as patron deity. It's probably because I'm Conjurer. I'm going to build a Conjurer. To get the White Mage, which is an affinity in Paladin, you have to have Conjurer to get into White Mage, and White Mage and Gladiator to get into Paladin. So they flow into each other. It didn't make a chart for that. Then I put the Paladin. I kind of wanted the fire one at the beginning of it, the red spark one. It all kind of almost looked like red sparks type thing. There's the lightning striking towards the ground, and wind, and shuriken type thing. Shadows. So I just. It took about 5 minutes or so. Oh, incidentally, when you're in character creation, some of your stats although they seem to come back to you afterwards. There's a gladiator, and there's the disciples here of war and of magic. There's the gladiator, pugilist, some marauder and lancer was in there. And there's the conjurer, thaumaturgus and arcanus. And there's the conjurer information. Back to gladiator. I can figure those classes out real quick. It's not that big of a deal. And let's see here. And you can start with gladiator, pugilist, marauder, lancer, or archer. Seen some really nice English bowmen or Japanese whalebone archers. Those super Zen size archer bows. Those 5 foot, 5.5 foot bows. Great Newton pullback force associated with that, and in that longbow. And I'm thinking it might change my mana pool if I go there with it, but with the shadows things, the more can't remember his son's name, Aiden's name, with Aiden on Ghost Whisper, the more like Aiden Quinn, the actor on Elementary, and the more positive force that you do, the more counterbalance you kind of have in your equivalent world. So I'm like, if they're going to have that much spiritual pressure energy type thing, like Kenkadzu, without being a gladiator in casting world, as a negative type thing, they're going to need some constitution for their mana casting capabilities. Which means starting Conjurer is starting in Gladiator, but it really means that a caster is going to need a slight constitution, despite, much like Dragonlance, sorcerer casting. So the race that does that, other than human Highlander, at the beginning with a little bit of conjuration stamina to summon the mana willpower through their body type thing, is the human or the Rogada type thing, that type of sense, which is while staying within the discipline of casting without going to swords and that things that means. Yes, I think that was very complicated. Eventually I left the server world of Exodus Primal and went to the Ether world. We'll get to that later too. Because they were non-applicable, there wasn't a lot of space in there, and the connection wasn't strong. I don't know why, but the other one had excellent connection, and now I'm pretty straightforward into it. Some of the legacy worlds associated with the beta testing. And there's like, ooh, probably 100 servers out there. So my caster's a little bit beefier, and just in case there's shadow spirits, one is the profession and one is the stamina type thing. And generally, when you go with a higher stamina, you leave your profession and go to gladiator in that means. I wanted to keep the profession of the caster with a little bit of stamina on the outside of it type thing. I'd say, oh, this is a control. And I had to pick the race that could come close to doing that. Most of the other races that are good at casting are under 20 constitution. And even though it seems a little bit county road in a 90-degree bend to put this in the creation of it, the Rogadan do have a high constitution or high vitality in this world, combined with their class of the Conjurer. So it makes them a really, really beefy Conjurer summoner. and that part's off there. There we go. And during the name thing, what you want to do here is you want to either use this to slide that on type thing, or don't lift this up. You just slide your hand across it like that, and then you confirm with the X key right there, doing that into the individual boxes like a mouse on a computer. And that's the first name there. Took me a little bit of a while to get used to which keyboard to pull up, and then they were like, once you're selecting the box, they're like, go ahead and select triangle instead of the X to call upon it, and then bring that keyboard up in there so that you can finish labeling the name of your character. I think it was circle, it was square. There's square and there's circle, and they're often the same pink, reddish color, and they're confused with each other type thing. They're very close by, and just none from confusion to unification type thing. They're separate buttons. There's the cane of the conjure owner, and just a bent natural driftwood piece from the river. See, driftwood is wood that was drifting on the surface of the river and then it banks itself. Hence the name, just quite literal in naming nomenclature. Sapwood being the sap of molasses sap, or the Okay, that concludes that first video. Thanks for listening. Really, this concludes the second video and concludes the first part of all the character creation. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call that up type thing with the triangle. And if you want to put that down, put the triangle and then pull it back up, and triangle, and playback features, circle to go back. And now that was the second movie here. And I'm going to go ahead and pause this and start another video.